It's 9:42 a.m., October 25th, 2025. Over the South China Sea, near the Spratly Islands, the USS Preble, DDG-88, runs a calm patrol until alarms break the silence. Radar picks up two fast-moving tracks. The ops room glows red. Outside, a MH-60 Seahawk banks hard, its warning tone screaming. "Lock-on detected!" a voice shouts. A Chinese J-11BH dives through haze, closing fast, mistaking the Seahawk for a drone. A second blip likely, a J-16 hovers high above. On board Preble, sailors rush to battle stations. The radar lock comes from a Type 52D destroyer. Its Type 346 amperes AESA radar still tracking. Unknown fighter. This is U.S. Navy helicopter. Maintain distance. Static. Then a sharp Mandarin reply. State your intentions. The Seahawk stays low, crew tense. The shadow of the EP-3, 2001 hangs heavy. One wrong move here and the calm South China Sea turns into chaos. Cameras roll. Hold ROE. No sudden moves, the bridge orders. The J-11BH snaps across the nose. Too close. The helo dips, steadies, and holds course. Every heartbeat feels like a countdown. In the South China Sea, shipping lanes weave between reefs and disputed rocks, thin blue lines that feed factories and keep fuel flowing worldwide. The USS Preble patrols these routes to keep them open, proving that freedom of navigation still stands. For Washington, it's about open seas. For Beijing, it's about control and sovereignty, two missions colliding in humid skies. That's why close calls never stop. Both sides fly low, turn tight, cameras rolling. Tonight, the MH-60 Seahawk was meant for a simple run-check the route near the Spratly Islands. Verify contacts, head home. But misidentification happens fast when jets roar in and radar beams distort in thick air. On the wrong screen, a Seahawk looks like a MQ-9 or MQ-4C. One wrong twitch and headlines write themselves. Aboard Preble, sailors follow the book. Log the lock. Posture, but don't provoke. The ship turns a few degrees, narrowing its radar cross-section. Above, a second Chinese fighter lingers, real or ghost. It doesn't matter. The message is clear. You're being watched. Zoom out, and the stakes are massive. A single mid-air clash could shut down trade lanes, spike prices, and pull in every nation from Manila to Washington. Nearby, a Philippine patrol tracks the tension from afar, wondering how long restraint can hold when seconds decide pride and policy. No one wants another 2001, but no one wants to blink first either. A fighter's nose fills the Seahawk's view. Every pilot knows what that means. One mistake and peace breaks. If you were in that cockpit, facing a jet that won't back off, would you hold steady or break away first? Tap 1 if you'd keep calm. 9 if you'd take the risk. 9:45 a.m. The air vibrates with tension. A Chinese J-11BH sweeps within visual range barely a mile off the Seahawk's nose. Its engines roar across the calm sea. On the USS Preble, the ops room flares red. Radar lock confirmed, bearing 080. The Seahawk's pilot steadies his hands. Maintain heading, stay low. Every move streams live to the destroyer. Every second counts. Type 50, 2D confirmed in sector. The tactical officer reports. Possible coordinated intercept. The Preble shifts to electronic defense. Chaff pods warm up, decoys armed. The Seahawk drops to 300 feet, hugging the surface to break radar lock. The J-11BH rolls inverted, missiles glinting beneath its wings a clear warning. The Seahawk's crew stays disciplined. Rules of engagement forbid firing unless attacked. One flare, one mistake, could light the match. A Philippine Cessna 208 far to the north reports similar interference near Scarborough Shoal. The tension isn't local anymore, it's spreading across the region. Open channels buzz with overlapping Mandarin and English warnings. On the Preble, the Aegis system quietly tracks both jets. Weapons hold, the captain orders. Faces stay fixed. Everyone remembers 2001, the mid-air crash that nearly reignited a Cold War at sea. Inside the Seahawk, the co-pilot calls, "Distance 500 meters." The radar warning screams again. Type 346 amperes still painting them. The helo banks right, staying inside international airspace. For a few seconds, the sky holds still. The J-11BH cuts across the Seahawk's nose again, then breaks off, climbing sharply. Cameras capture every flash of light off its fuselage. On the Preble, officers watch in silence. Preble broadcasts standard safety calls on guard and floods her signal mast visible de-escalation cues the jets can't miss. CIWS and CRAM stay safe but spinning, a quiet promise that mercy here rides on mechanical hair triggers. Then, the radar tone fades. The Chinese jet turns back toward the Type 52D destroyer. Relief doesn't come, only realization. "They were timing our response," the captain mutters. Just as the Seahawk steadies and climbs to rejoin formation, another alert sounds. Same signature, same radar. But this time from the north near Scarborough, the tension resets. This isn't over, it's just begun. 9:50 a.m. The new radar tone is sharper, faster, another J-16 moving in from the north. The Seahawk turns west, keeping low. On the USS Preble, tension spikes again. Second contact confirmed. Altitude 6,000, descending fast. The captain clenches his jaw. They're testing both fronts. Within seconds, comms light up. The Chinese voice on guard frequency repeats, "You are entering Chinese airspace. Leave immediately." The Seahawk crew glances at their map, still well inside international zones. They don't answer, just keep recording. Every second of audio matters when politics gets involved. Below, the sea turns rough under the rotor wash. The Preble's Aegis radar begins jamming interference. Data streams fill the screens. Multiple logs 3. No, 4 radars now painting us, the EW officer warns. On deck, sailors man CIWS turrets. Weapons still safed but trained toward the sky. The J-16 dives closer, cutting across the Seahawk's path. The pilot pulls hard left to avoid wake turbulence. "He's crossing our nose again, distance 200 meters. The warning tone spikes, then cuts, then returns even louder. For a moment, everyone thinks the missile tone just armed. "Hold fire," the captain snaps. The Preble's defensive systems stay green, tracking but silent. The Seahawk's crew breathes through clenched teeth. The pilot mutters, "He's trying to make us flinch." The co-pilot replies quietly, "Let him." Far to the north, the Philippine patrol confirms. Chinese fighters circling our airspace too. What started as a single intercept is now a regional pressure test. Commanders in Manila, Tokyo, and Pearl Harbor all get the same live feed. The J-16 banks again, this time closer than ever. Jet wash rattles the Seahawk. A tiny mistake, and both will fall. The radar warbles one last time, then goes silent. The fighters pull away, vanishing into cloud layers. But the silence doesn't feel like peace. It feels like a pause before something larger. On the Preble, the captain exhales slowly. They're measuring limits, not just range. He looks toward the radar screen, now calm but still glowing red. Everyone knows the message. Next time, it might not stop here. If you think the US should keep holding the line, tap 1. If you believe it's time to push back harder, tap 9 and let's see where you stand. 10:05 a.m. Just as the Seahawk steadies on course, a new blip flashes on radar. Slow, high, steady, unidentified altitude 20,000, closing from the east. The signature matches no known fighter. The Preble's combat room goes silent. Could be an early warning drone, someone says. Or something pretending to be one. The J-16 are gone, but the timing feels staged. Then the contact dives fast, accelerating hard. The radar tags it as unknown UAV. Its data link doesn't match any Chinese military channel. Civilian transponder spoofed, the EW officer mutters. A faint burst flickers on the spectrum analyzer brief, hopping frequencies like a relay handoff somewhere offshore, here and gone in a heartbeat. The captain frowns. Not theirs, not ours. Who's in the middle? The Seahawk banks left, cameras zooming on the sky's edge. Through the haze, a gray silhouette glints, no markings, no lights, no tailcoat. Moments later, Chinese radar lights up again, blocking both the Seahawk and the unidentified craft. "They think it's ours," the co-pilot says. The situation flips. China hunts a ghost, while the US tries to stay out of the line of fire. The Preble transmits. "Unidentified aircraft. This is USS Preble. You are causing a hostile reaction. Identify immediately." No reply. The object climbs higher, vanishing into cloud. Yet Chinese radar keeps painting the Seahawk, refusing to let go. "Record everything," the captain orders. "This isn't random." The red trace fades, leaving only static and unease. For a moment, the sea feels hollow, like someone else is pulling strings above. The intercept was supposed to end an hour ago. Instead, a new player has entered, and no one knows whose side it's on. 10:12 a.m. The horizon turns gray as storm clouds roll in. The Seahawk climbs through turbulence, sensors still tracking faint echoes from the mystery drone. On the USS Preble, the CIC glows dim red. No one speaks. Then, a new ping cuts through the static. Multiple locks coming from two directions. "Source?" the captain barks. "East and southeast, one surface radar, one airborne." The air outside erupts in motion. The J-16 are back, streaking in low from the cloud wall, flying fast and tight. The Seahawk jerks left, flares primed but still held. "They think we're escorting that drone," the co-pilot snaps. "We're not even armed." On Preble, alarms hammer through the hull. CIWS guns spin up, tracking lines on the sky. "Weapons hold," the captain repeats, voice firm but strained. The radar screen blooms with red. "Chaff ready, launch on my mark." The first J-16 flashes past, less than 300 meters from the Seahawk's rotors. Jet wash slams the helicopter sideways. The pilot fights for control. "Recover, recover." The crew regains balance, but another tone pierces the headset. "Missile radar type 50. 2D has locked us again." The destroyer's Aegis system floods the air with counterjamming. False targets bloom on enemy scopes. The sky becomes chaos. Squares of data blinking, shifting, ghosting. The Seahawk breaks hard north, hugging the edge of cloud cover. On the Preble's bridge, the captain watches a new signal flicker, one J-16 crossing directly between the Seahawk and the Ghost UAV. "They're lining up for a shot," the XO warns. "At who?" the captain asks. No answer. For 6 full seconds, everything happens at once. Radar pings overlap, ECM bursts crackle, the Seahawk dives, and one of the Chinese jets launches flares. It's not a missile, just a warning, but it lights the entire sea in orange fire. "Hold line. Do not engage," the captain orders. Every muscle in the room locks tight. Seconds drag, then silence. The J-16 seconds pull vertical. Engines screaming, disappearing east toward the haze. The radar clears one trace at a time. On the tactical screen, the unknown UAV reappears once more briefly, then vanishes for good. Someone whispers, "Whatever that was, it worked." If you were the captain, would you keep holding fire to avoid war tap 1 or strike first to stop the threat tap 9? The choice says everything about what kind of leader you'd be when the sky goes red. 12 p.m. The storm has passed, but the tension hasn't. The Seahawk returns to USS Preble, rotors slowing under gray skies. Crew step out, eyes still scanning the horizon as if the air itself could betray them. The mystery UAV never reappeared, and no nation claims it. The ocean feels wide but smaller somehow, like a chessboard waiting for the next move. Hours later, Washington issues a statement calling the intercept unsafe and irresponsible. Beijing fires back, accusing the U.S. of intruding near sensitive waters. The Philippines, caught in the middle, files a protest note after its patrol plane was shadowed the same day. Each side insists it's defending stability, yet every word only sharpens the edge. On board Preble, the crew debrief in silence. No one speaks of fear, only relief wrapped in exhaustion. "We did our job," the captain says quietly. But in his eyes, there's the unspoken truth. Next time, someone might not hold back. Satellite feeds later confirm radar activity from 3 separate sites across the region, all lighting up within minutes of the UAV's appearance. The data vanishes soon after, overwritten or erased. In the war rooms, analysts circle possibilities. Rogue test, false flag, or a warning. No answer sticks. Night falls over the South China Sea. The waves look calm, but every ship and jet across the region is now on edge. In the quiet, the hum of radar feels louder than thunder. For the United States, it's a reminder that restraint can save lives, but also that hesitation can invite danger. For China, it's proof that shadows in the sky can still shift the balance of power. And for everyone else watching, it's one question left hanging over the dark water: who really controls the next move? If you believe calm heads should keep the peace, tap 1. If you think strength must answer, challenge, tap 9, and tell us where you stand before the next storm breaks. It's 9:40 a.m., the 9th of October 2025. Near Thitu Island, the Philippine patrol ship BRP Datu Pagbuaya rides steep chop, antennas rattling. On the scope, 2 hard returns bloom Chinese Coast Guard. 2-1559 and a shadowing cutter bearing steady. Range collapsing. Maintain distance. The bridge transmits, voice flat to hide the tremor. Static. Then pressure hoses erupt. White geysers hammer the bow, smashing cameras and rails. Sailors drop to a knee, knuckles white on safety lines. The helmsman fights the wheel, warning tones stack. Through the spray, a white hull swells in the windows, block letters filling the frame. Brace! Impact steel screams. Lockers burst, coffee explodes across the chart. Lights flicker. Salt and burnt wiring bite the air. The ship heels, then steadies, deck slick with shattered plastic. Orders snap. Damage control! Seal watertight. Check rudder. For one held heartbeat, nobody breathes. Then the truth lands. This isn't a standoff. It's contact, and the next minute decides who walks away. On a map, the South China Sea looks clean, just blue and borders. Out here it's noise, glare, and muscle. Cargo ships drag the world's lifelines through narrow lanes near Thitu Island, where one wrong move can rattle markets an ocean away. Fuel, food, and microchips all depend on this stretch of water staying open and free. For the Philippines, Thitu isn't a dot, it's home. Families live here, kids go to school, soldiers plant gardens between watch ships. For China, it's a red patch inside its claimed zone, proof of who holds power. Since the 28th of August, 2025 collision near Scarborough Shoal, tempers have only thickened. More patrols, closer passes, radio warnings that sound more like threats. The BRP Datu Pagbuaya is small, old, and stubborn. Its orders are clear: hold position, protect civilians, don't fire first. Each word now feels like a test of courage and restraint. On every screen from Manila to Washington, this moment plays out: every jolt, every shout captured, judged, archived. It's no longer just about territory. It's about pride, legacy, and the fine line between duty and disaster. To the east, the USS Gabrielle Giffords races forward under the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty, but even help adds tension. More ships mean more eyes, more signals, more chances to misread intent. The air feels electric, radios hiss like nerves. Across the water, CCG 21559 idles close, its crew watching back, faces unreadable behind glass. 2 sides, 2 flags, 1 narrow strip of sea neither will yield. Waves slap steel, engines hum like held breath. The ocean waits for the next order to hold or to break. And you watching this moment, what would you choose? Press 1 to stand firm with the Pagbuaya, or 9 to pull back before pride turns to fire. 9:46 a.m. The bridge lights flicker as the BRP Datu Pagbuaya steadies her bow. The hull groans but holds. Radar, confirm range. A voice cuts through the noise. 2 returns still close, CCG 21559 and its escort, now circling like wolves. Over the open channel, a new voice in Mandarin barks orders. The interpreter stiffens. They're telling us to leave their waters, she says quietly. They're loading hoses again. The commander glances out the window. A silver glint camera drone's rising from the Chinese deck. The crew braces. All stations, defensive posture only, he calls. Floodlights flare, sirens pulse. The Pagwaya's forward deck crew deploys smoke canisters, cheap, desperate cover that blooms gray across the sea. It buys seconds, maybe less. At 9:49, another burst of water slams the port side. Sensors short. A sailor shouts, "We're losing external cams." The commander's jaw locks. He raises the radio to Manila Command. "T2 station, this is Pagwaya, contact sustained. No shots fired, hull compromised, forward frame 2. Static answers back. On the horizon, the wake of another ship ripples a Chinese auxiliary cutter, joining the scene. 3 on 1 now. From the control room, the helmsman mutters, "Sir, if they press again, we'll beach." "Negative," the captain says. "We hold line." He knows the rule. Once you yield, they own the space. 9:53. Metal clangs, something scrapes the stern. "We're boxed!" yells the navigator. The crew scrambles as one of the Chinese ships veers dangerously close, just 50 meters off the aft quarter. The sea between them boils with wake and spray. "Deploy sound cannon!" The operator hits the trigger. A deep roar floods the air. The sound waves ripple, shaking the rails, startling even their own men. For a heartbeat, it works. The cutter pulls back, engines throttling down, but above, a drone swoops low, hovering just meters from the bridge. The commander looks up through the glass, watching its lens tilt. It's not just a machine, it's proof someone, somewhere, is watching every second of this gamble. The tension hums like electricity through the ship. Nobody speaks, nobody moves. Hands clamp the rails, sweat burns, no one breathes. One wrong turn, one slip, one shove, and history tips over. 9:58 a.m. The smoke clears. The Pagwaya steadies, her hull trembling from the last hit. Around her, the Chinese cutters slide back into formation, 3 white hulls fanning out in a slow crescent, boxing her toward the reef. The commander wipes salt from his eyes. "Steer 2 degrees starboard," he orders. "Keep us clear, but don't give ground." The enemy mirrors instantly. Spotlights sweep the water, cutting through haze. Over the radio, a calm Mandarin voice echoes, "You are violating Chinese jurisdiction. Withdraw immediately." The interpreter glances up. "Sir, they're recording this." The captain exhales. "So are we." At 10:01, another blast hits the bow. The ship jolts. "Stabilizers offline," a voice shouts. The commander grips the console. "Damage control, report." "Hull intact, frame flexing." He nods once. Every second they hold is defiance. Every retreat, surrender. Below deck, engineers fight alarms and seawater leaks. Pumps whine, breakers spark. The ship was built for patrols, not duels. "Sir," the helmsman mutters, "they're pushing us toward shallow water." The sonar ticks 6 meters, dropping. "They want us stuck," the captain says. "They won't get it." The Pagwaya's guns stay cold, but her cameras fix on the nearest cutter so close faces show behind tinted glass. One young Chinese officer hesitates, hand hovering over his cannon control. For a heartbeat, 2 men same age, same fear stare across the spray before the sea roars again. 10:05. Both sides push engines. Wakes collide, white water boiling. Radios are up Manila Command, Chinese orders. Fishermen screaming for space. "Hold course, no retreat," the commander says, voice steady. Thunder rumbles from the west, clouds blacken the horizon. The reef glows turquoise beneath them, beautiful, deadly, waiting. "Depth 5.5 meters, the navigator calls. The captain nods, silent. Every gauge now feels like a countdown. Engines hum, alarms fade. 2 nations stare each other down across 50 meters of sea, and neither will blink first. And you watching this standoff tighten by the second, what would you do when duty and pride pull opposite ways? Press 1 if you'd hold your line with the Pagwaya, or 9 if you'd pull back before pride sinks the ship. 10:08 a.m. The first warning comes from sonar, an echo below the surface, faint but steady. Unknown contact, shallow depth, bearing 085. The commander leans forward. "Subsurface? Possibly a mini-sub or drone," the operator replies. The Chinese cutters hold formation, but something else moves beneath them, silent, deliberate. The Pagwaya has no anti-sub gear, only sonar and nerves. Mark the contact. The captain orders. Maintain distance. The blips multiply 2, then 3. They're coordinated, the operator mutters. The bridge falls silent. Whatever's below isn't random. Suddenly, the nearest Chinese cutter drifts sideways, engines roaring. They're pushing us off the reef, the navigator says. Or hiding something. Through binoculars, the commander spots a thin rainbow slick spreading over the surface, fresh oil. Fuel leak, he murmurs. Something venting down there. 10:11. One of the contacts fades. Another rises. The sonar trace grows darker, larger. Depth 4.8 meters, the helmsman warns. We're cornered. Then a metallic ping shakes the hull. It repeats closer each time. Contact closing. The captain doesn't hesitate. Hard to port, engines full. The Paguaya lurches left as a dark shape slices past the bow, a black cylinder vanishing into murk. Silence. Subsurface drone, the technician says. The captain exhales, watching ripples fade. This isn't random aggression, it's a test. Someone below is measuring how close they can push before someone breaks. Lightning cracks overhead. Rain pelts the glass. The sea turns gray, horizon gone. 3 white hulls hold position. Unbothered, patient. The message is clear. The next move belongs to the Philippines, but the ocean has already chosen its side. 10:15 a.m. Rain lashes the deck like bullets. The horizon is gone, just gray water, white spray, and 3 Chinese cutters closing fast. The Paguaya rocks hard as wind screams across the bridge. Engines holding? Barely, sir. The commander nods. Then we hold too. Lightning flashes. For an instant, the sea glows silver, and the nearest cutter is right there, less than 40 meters off the bow. Collision course, the navigator yells. The captain's hand hovers over the alert switch. Do not fire, he warns, voice tight with restraint. 10:17. Another impact, smaller but sharper. Hull contact, aft section. Sparks spray the stern. They're testing our line, the XO says, and they're not stopping. The Paguaya answers with her horn, long and furious, echoing through the storm like defiance itself. The next wave hits. A water cannon sweeps the bridge, smashing glass and sensors. Crew duck under spray. One sailor bleeds from a cut above his eye. We're blind on port cameras, someone shouts. The captain grips the console, drenched. Stabilize the feet. I want eyes on that cutter. The enemy keeps pressing, bow slicing closer, spotlight blazing. The commander stares through shattered glass, 2 crews locked in a storm, 1 gust from history. This isn't about territory anymore. It's about proving who yields first. 10:19. Sir, the sonar officer calls. Underwater contact, closing fast. The captain's pulse spikes. Brace! The crew crouches as the drone streaks beneath, vibrating the deck like a heartbeat. Then silence. The drone veers away. The storm howls. Radios hiss. The Paguaya, battered and half-blind, refuses to break. Manila calls, hold position. U.S. ship inbound. The captain nods, exhausted. Tell them, we're still here. Through the rain, a faint silhouette rises on the horizon. Sleek, gray, fast. The USS Gabrielle Giffords cutting through the squall, her lights like distant resolve. The Chinese cutters slow, engines rumbling low. Nobody moves, nobody dares. And as the sea calms just enough for breath, ask yourself, if you stood on that bridge, drenched and surrounded, would you hold your line with the Paguaya, press 1? Or pull back before the next flash turns the sea to fire, press 9? 10:37 a.m. The storm breaks into drizzle. The Paguaya floats scarred but upright, smoke curling from the vents. Her crew stands silent, drenched, scanning a sea now calm but full of ghosts. Across the waves, the Chinese cutters drift back, no victory signal, no retreat either. Just distance, thick and heavy, like unspoken warning. Manila confirms the arrival of the USS Gabrielle Giffords. The American ship cuts a wide arc around Thitu, its gray hull gleaming against pale clouds. For the first time in hours, the radio is quiet. The tension hasn't ended, it's just shifted. Now it's political, invisible, and waiting. Down in the mess hall, sailors patch cuts and wrap bruises. The captain walks among them, stopping at each face, nodding once. "You did your job," he says simply. Outside, welders start temporary fixes. Salt water drips from torn steel, hissing as it hits hot metal. The smell is sharp. Iron, oil, survival. From orbit, satellites catch the aftermath. A scar on the reef, dark trails in the water, and one small patrol ship holding her line. News networks roll the footage within hours. Commentators argue over intent, over fault, over who blinked first. But for the men who were there, the only truth that matters is that they didn't. 11:10 a.m. The Pagbuaya turns slowly toward home, escorted by the Giffords. The crew watches the shrinking shapes on the horizon, 3 white hulls fading into haze. Nobody cheers. Nobody speaks. Only the sea breathes again, pretending to forget. For the Philippines, this day becomes a symbol. Courage wrapped in caution, defiance without fire. For China, it's proof that pressure works, that fear bends before power. For the US, it's a reminder that alliances only matter when tested in rain and salt. And as the world debates who won, the ocean keeps its own score, measured not in ships sunk, but in how long each side dares to stand. Now it's your turn to choose. Press 1 if you'd have stood with the Pagbuaya, or 9 if you'd have pulled back before the next storm writes a new line in history.